I absolutely love my NetDuma R2, but it has a bit of a heating issue. So early on, I noticed the R2 runs a bit warm. And ever since getting my R2, I've had my R2 connected to my Netgear Nighthawk XR500, which is set up as an access point. The XR500's just got better Wi-Fi, and I decided to keep that and just not mess with the R2's Wi-Fi. Over the summer, I decided to do some testing. I disconnected my Netgear Nighthawk XR500 and just used my NetDuma R2 for Wi-Fi and everything else in my household. And within about an hour, I stuck my hand on top of it and noticed it was straight up hot. I decided, okay, I don't know exactly what's going on here. It's in a well-ventilated area, so this shouldn't be a problem. Let me turn Wi-Fi back off and see if it cools back down. Turned Wi-Fi off, and about an hour later, it cooled down. Now, I noticed in the forums over the summer, a few people lose their R2s, and I'm thinking that's due to heat. A lot of people will hook up their router and their modem, stick it in a corner, and forget it, right? And that's what you should be able to do. However, modems, routers, those things, they create heat. And if they do not have a sufficient enough room to breathe, they can fail. Now, I don't think the R2 is fatally designed where all of them are gonna fail if you're using Wi-Fi. I think it's just been so hot this summer, and some people just don't care to turn on their swamp coolers, their air conditioners, their fans constantly. It costs a lot of money, and if you're running games and stuff anyway, those things are creating heat. I'd just be like, whatever, I'll turn on a fan when I'm done. And I get it. But your equipment, maybe not so much. It may be, just taking a dump on you. And I've seen that over the summer in the forums. So after running some tests, I decided, you know what? I'm gonna grab myself some USB fans and just see how much of a difference they'll make. And I figured it'd be significant, maybe not huge, but significant enough where performance issues and the R2 possibly shutting down from getting too hot would no longer be an issue. I went to Amazon, I did some research, I found these AC Finity fans here. They're 16 bucks. You can get whatever kind of fans you want. However, I do recommend these as they've done me really well. I've had them plugged in since March, constantly on medium, running non-stop for the R2 and my modem, because it gets a little bit warm, and I've had no issues. So these are just some USB fans. They got a whole bunch of different ones depending on what you want. But these AC Finities have done a great job for me. They got a little power switch where you have high, medium, low, and off. And they come with these little rubber feet, which kind of, raise it up a little bit and give you a little bit of extra room. So here are those fans. I pulled them away from the R2 and the modem real quick just to show you guys. They're not even all that dusty. Now, I didn't cut a hole in my R2. I didn't do anything crazy. I just set the fan on my shelf and put the R2 on top. That was it. There's enough airflow between the grates, cage on the fan, and these feet and my shelf and the R2 where it pushes air up through the R2. The R2 just gets cooled and pushes air out the side of its vents wherever it decides to push air out. The second fan, I've just got it up against my modem to keep it nice and cool. And that has made a significant difference in my gameplay when I'm playing for hours and hours and hours. Even more so when the wife and kids are home and they're on the Netflix and Hulu and YouTube and all those things. The internet's being bombarded. Your modem will definitely get pretty warm. I have noticed a performance increase by putting this fan up against it. I didn't think I would. I thought, it's going to cool it down, and that'll be good for the equipment. It'll make it last longer, and it'll definitely help the R2 because it just gets too hot, especially if you're using that Wi-Fi. So definitely get a fan if you're using Wi-Fi and you don't have a secondary router. But, the modem was like, it's warm, whatever. It made a difference. After a couple hours of nonstop going on the internet, modem wasn't hot to touch, but it was definitely warm. The fan keeps it really nice and cool, and I haven't had any weird stuff that I was having before where I'd play for a couple hours and then it would seem to just degrade, and then I'd quit playing and I'd come back and the gameplay would be nice and snappy again. So if you're having that kind of issue, be aware it may be a heating issue, and to grab yourself a set of fans. Now, the last thing I want to note is just how much air these things push. I don't have any way to show the actual airflow, but low, right? I can feel it over here, it's good enough, right? It's not a lot. I feel like the big center there doesn't do it justice, but medium, that's what I have my fans on constantly. Pushes plenty enough air through the R2 and my modem to keep things nice and cool, even in really hot days and really heated gaming sessions. High, I only have done that once or twice just during some testing. It definitely cools things down more, but I don't feel like it's making that much of a significant difference. And there's a little bit of noise. Don't know if the mic's picking it up. They're not too noisy. I have my stuff kind of off in a corner. There's other house noises going on, so once the day is kind of going, I don't really hear them. If it's dead silent and I want to pick it up, I can, because I know where they're at, and they make a little bit of noise. Other than that, they've definitely made a huge difference when it comes to my gameplay, which is surprising, and made a huge difference when it comes to cooling the R2. So if you're using Wi-Fi on the R2, definitely grab you a set of fans, or at least a fan. I would suggest a set. Hook one up to your modem, one up to the R2, blow air in there, get them nice and cool. If this video was helpful, you know what to do. Until the next time, as always, take it easy.